Today I'm going to be showing you how to record a song on tape. This is a 4-track. There are many like it, but this one is mine. What does the 4-track do? It records onto these cassettes. Either one of these cassettes, but not all cassettes are equal. This is a normal bias cassette. It sounds like shit, so we don't want that. We want the high bias cassette because that sounds good and we want that. So we're going to open this. So once you open up your brand new tape, you're going to take it out and you're going to look at the bottom and you're going to notice that there isn't actually any tape on the bottom. This is just leader. So when you put the tape in, you want to make sure that you fast forward. That's too much, so we're going to rewind. That's too little. Right about there, 15. I like to do 15 to start a new tape. So if we take a look at this now, there we go. See that? That's tape. What does all of this stuff actually mean? Well, this is your counter. This counts how much tape you have left. Every tape has about 2,000 or so, I think. Right now we're at the very beginning, so we don't have to worry about running out or anything. Down here, this is pretty self-explanatory stuff. You see all over the place 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's because, well, this is a 4-track. It records onto 4 tracks, either simultaneously or one by one. We're going to be doing one by one because we're one person. All you do is plug in your microphone or whatever input you're using into one of these spots up here, either these XLR inputs or these 1/4 inch inputs right up here. These 4. We just ignore this stuff. We don't worry about that. Except for this right here. This goes all the way over here into this mixer. This is a mixer. This basically makes it so I can plug more microphones into this thing without taking up all of these spots. And I'll get back to that later on. But yeah, this takes the audio from the tape, goes into here, that goes to these wires right here, and then that goes to these speakers, which plays the audio. Now you're probably thinking, wow, this seems like a lot of knobs and sliders and buttons and stuff, and you didn't explain the vast majority of it, and I don't understand what you're talking about. But maybe you do, and maybe I'm not giving you enough credit for your intelligence. But anyway, so now you plug the microphone into number 1. I'm just going to explain everything as I go along with this. So right now, we've got track 1 right here, hooked up to this microphone, which is going into this amp, which will play this guitar, and that's what we're going to put on track 1. So to actually start recording, there's a few things you need to do first. You want to set this little slider over to mic/line. Then you want to turn this little knob about halfway towards the mic signal. You don't want to do it to line because that's just for if you're like plugging your guitar straight into this, which is not recommended at all. So after you do those 2 things, you want to come down here and you want to make sure this is right at 7.5, right where the little marking is different. That's the sweet spot. That's what you want right there. Then you come over here and you hit direct on track 1, and then now you can see this little 1 is flashing right here. So that means track 1 is ready to record, and then we would just press play and record at the same time in order to actually start recording. So before you actually start recording, you want to check your volume levels, and by doing this, you see over here this little thing goes way up. Now you want this line to go to that little 0 right there. You don't really want it to go too high because then it's going to sound too powerful, you know, and too distorted and too shitty, and that's not what we want for this particular song, at least. So we just want to make sure we turn down the guitar enough to make sure that it's at 0. It's alright if it goes over a little bit, it's not really a big deal. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with that because whatever. So now that everything's set up on the tape machine, we can actually lay down the first track. So I'm just gonna press play and record at the same time. So now we're going to hit stop. Now once you finish recording your track and you hit stop, there's a few things you want to do before you actually do anything else, and this is very, very important. What you want to do is you want to make sure that this goes back down to safe and that this little switch goes back to off. If you don't do this and then you rewind or you fast forward or you play it or anything, then it could record over the track you just recorded and erase all of it. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can rewind back to 15 and then we can record track 2. So you just hit the rewind button. It's also worth noting that if you mess up during this process at all, during the take, then you just have to start over from the beginning. You can't go back to a certain section and edit it or anything. There we go, 15. Now to start recording on track 2, we're going to take the microphone from track 1, put it in the track 2 hole. Once again, we move the knob halfway to the mic mark, push this thing over the mic / line, and then for track 1, so we can hear it, we're going to want to put this to tape. And also to hear it, we're going to want to plug in these here headphones. And then you just come back down here and hit direct, and now everything's ready to be recorded onto track 2, and you'll be able to hear track 1 as well. So I lied actually, because in order to actually hear track 2, we're going to want to turn this slider up to 7.5, just like track 1. But for right now, we're going to take track 1 down right about there to 6, just so we can hear track 2 a little bit better in the headphones, so we know what we're playing against track 1, if that makes sense. Now I've just got this acoustic guitar plugged into that same amp, so I didn't even have to move the microphone at all. So we can just start recording track 2 now. Okay, track 2 is done, so we're going to put this to safe. We're going to turn this off. Take out this microphone because we don't need it anymore. And we're just going to rewind to 15 now. Now we're going to do bass on track 3. So we're going to turn this on, bring up the slider, bring up the direct, and put track 2 to tape. And finally, put the bass line into the third input down here. And this white line goes into the back of the bass amp, so we don't even need a microphone. And since we're using a line instead of a microphone, we're going to turn this just a little bit towards the line, just to boost the bass a little bit more. Okay, time for bass now. Okay, we finished recording the bass and have safely rewound back to 15. So now we have one guitar, two guitar, bass, and we still need to do drums and vocals. But we only have one track left. So how are we going to do drums and vocals? Well, what we got to do is take tracks 1, 2, and 3 and transfer them over to track 4. This way, 1, 2, and 3 will be open again, and we'll be able to record on them. So we'll be able to do drums and then 2 vocals. And in order to do that, we're going to turn up 4 to 7.5, just like all the other ones. And then we're going to turn these 3 knobs to the right. Then we're going to come up here, make sure these 3 are all set to tape, and this one is set to mic/line. Since we're doing this to track 4, we're going to come over here and turn this down to bus R. The R stands for right. So these 3 tracks are being played into the right signal, which is what's being recorded onto track 4. So then we would just hit play and record at the same time, and these 3 tracks would be transferred over to track 4, thus opening them up for use once again. Before actually transferring the tracks, you want to make sure the volume levels are exactly where you want them, because once you record over these, they're going to be gone forever. So I got them exactly where I want them. I just have the acoustic guitar slightly lower than the bass and the first guitar that we did. Up here for the EQ, I've got the bass turned up a little bit on the low. Other than that, I've completely left it alone. If you're ever doing this, you can mess with this as much or as little as you want. I usually don't touch it very much, and if I do, I just turn up the mids like these 2, but I'm not going to do that here. So yeah, once you do that, everything's all set. You can hit play and record at the same time, and it'll transfer these right over to track 4. So I'm just going to do that now. once it's gone through the whole song, you just hit stop like you do every other time. Turn this back to safe. You can turn these knobs back to normal. And turn the mic/line off for track 4. And then we hit rewind. And when we play back this, we can turn down all of these 3 tracks and just have this one on, and we should still be able to hear all the instruments we just recorded. So now you can see we only have track 4 playing, but it's playing all the instruments we just recorded from the first 3 tracks, and now we can use these again and finish the song. Drums is where I utilize the multi-microphone capabilities of the mixer. So I've got these 2 microphones hooked up into the first 2 ports on this mixer, and their volume levels are set at -15 because if they were set at 0, it would be way too loud. So the way we actually get this into the tape machine is I've got this cable with the red and the gray going into these 2 ports on the mixer, which goes to this one cable which connects into track 3. So we're sending these 2 microphones into track 3 of the tape machine, but we're just using one cable. So if we were doing this another way where we just had these 2 plugged directly into these 2 ports up here, we'd have to use 2 tracks, and we don't want to waste that. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, you should know the drill by now. Set track 3 to direct, turn up the slider to 7.5, come up here, turn it to mic/line, and we're just going to leave this right in the middle instead of going to the mic or line, because drums, once again, are very loud. Right, so I'm going to hit record on the tape machine, then I'm going to fucking run over there, pick up the headphones, put them on, try to grab the sticks without dropping them, and hopefully play on cue and not miss like the first part of the song. So we'll see. Alright, so now we've got 2 guitars and bass on track 4. We've got drums on track 3, which leaves us tracks 2 and 1 to do vocals. But I don't have any lyrics for this song yet, so I gotta write those. And there's a few things we need to do first. Now what you're gonna wanna do is go outside, crack open a fucking Sam Adams, and slam that shit down. Now it's around this time where you just kind of think about how much of a fucking loser you are and how little you've accomplished, and just the you know, we need deep lyrics. We need deep and insightful lyrics. Lyrics that will stand the test of time and really provide insight into society's issues. And it's important that we accomplish this. We're gonna get it. It's coming. I can feel it. It's not drinking alone if the dog is home. Alright, we figured the fucking lyrics out. So now what you're gonna wanna do, bust out your fucking typewriter. Start going. Okay, so we got this microphone going into track 2 now. We're going to be doing the first vocal take on it. And then once that's done, I'm going to add another vocal track in track 1. And I'm just going to put them both together right now. So this is the song. This is the fucking song. All right. Too. It's gonna be time, it's gonna be time, it's gonna be freeze heated stew, it's gonna be mine, it's gonna be mine, it's gonna be grease fevered shoe, it's gonna be fried, it's gonna be fried, it's gonna be you have been born, that was your mistake. With a